Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rukakodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that continually rule very well. And shalom to the hopefully elect that's continually pushing out this word in all faith, truth, sincerity, and giving all diligence. Now, the topic of this video is going to be centered around the word idle. All right. And also too, Salakia, if I pause in between some parts of the video because I'm here at the job, 7 o'clock in the morning. But the focus of the video is going to be on the word idle, and doing searching on that word idle. It pretty much sheds more light on the topic of being diligent, because when you look at that word idle, it's serious, man. For a lack of a better term, because that's why scriptures also always speak about being diligent and to continually working, and continually doing the work. Because that's what this truth is all about, man. Doing the work. All right. And by doing the work, not only go out in the highways and byways, but also putting up shows, and if not putting up shows, then in other words, like 5 videos, 6 videos, because the minimum videos to be put up each week is 3 videos a week. Which that's the order that came down by the apostle elders of Great Millstone, which is through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Because doing 3 videos a week, man, that's doing nothing but helping the ministry, man, helping to seal the elect. Because that's another reason why we do the work, man, to have the elect sealed, so we can be delivered up out of this hellhole that we're in. All right. And just being idle, and not working is hindering the work. All right. Just like you have a quota to meet. You're working on a construction site. You got a certain quota, man. You got to finish that work, or you got to finish that task by the end of that quota, that date that is set for. And if it's not finished, then the person that contracted you to do that work, is going to be looking at the head guy, man. All right. So that's the apostle elders, man. All right. That's why the apostle elders put out the decree of 3 videos a week. All right. And then you have this guy that's sitting around not doing anything, not working, not contributing. All right. So the head guy is gonna get at him, and kick his ass, man. All right. The extreme, just the Slakia, just another way of doing that, man, is by kicking him out, man. All right. Telling the guy he's not doing a job. You got to fire that man. All right. But I'm gonna go ahead, before I look up that word idle. I want to get a quick precept before I look it up. I got 2 definitions, one in the Greek and another in the etymology of the word. So it's the book of Matthew, 20th chapter, in the first verse. It says, "For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard." All right. So verse 2, it said, "When he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard." All right. Now, we're the laborers, man, that's been sent out into the vineyard, because the Lord has, look at it spiritually. The Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, has a vineyard, man. And we're the laborers. We've been made his laborers to work in that vineyard. All right. And see, when you're working in the vineyard, You tend to the crops, specifically, the vines, and you have grapes growing, and then you pluck the grapes, and you bring it back into the storehouse, man. And that's what we're doing, man. All right, because the choice grapes that we want is the election. All right, to be brought back into the barn. Now, continuing on, verse 3 say he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace. All right. Now, mind you, it says in the marketplace. All right, because that's where we've been set out on the highways and byways at, man. We're in the marketplaces. We're in the chief place of concourse. Okay. And what do we see when we out there, man? We see people standing idle. We see Jake, you so-called Neos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, walking around, and basically enjoying your pathetic lives. You're enjoying your pathetic lives here in America, man. All right. But he saw some standing idle, right? And in verse 4 it said, and said unto them, go ye also to the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. So that's the ones that have been called into this thing, man. Okay. Now I got the word idle. Look at the word idle in the Greek. Should be argos. Slacky. I might have to put my phone down in a second. It's argos, the Greek. It means free from labor and at leisure. All right. The second definition, it says lazy, shunning the labor which one ought to perform. All right. Shunning the labor which one ought to perform. Now, that brings me back to a specific scripture. I want to go back to the definition, but I want to grab a quick scripture before I do that. Let's see, actually there's two, but I want to grab one. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. And Slacky, I gotta put my phone down for 1 second. Slacky, I can. Right. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. All right. Let's see what else. There's another scripture. Right, Luke the 18th chapter in the first verse, it says, and he spake a parable unto them, talking about Yahushua, who these people inwardly call Jesus. It said he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint. All right. So let's go back to look at that word again. Actually, let me go back to the book of Matthew, the 20th chapter. That's where it is. Matthew's the 20th chapter, and go back to the word idle. Right, so that word idle is argos, right? It says free from labor, at leisure, lazy, shunning the labor which one ought to perform. All right. All right, Slocky, I had to put my phone down for a second. Lazy, shunning the labor which one ought to perform. Which we just read in the book of Luke. It says that men ought always to pray and not faint. All right, which goes into doing the work, man. All right, because not only is it talking about praying, because that's also important when it comes to this truth, but it also is talking about doing the work as well, because Scripture speaks about the high praises of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai being in our mouths and a two-edged sword in our hands. All right. And also it says in the Strong's G692, right? It says in the following manner, idle, it also means slow. All right. It says inactive, unemployed. All right. By implication, lazy or useless, barren, idle, slow. All right. So right here, man, it says inactive, unemployed. All right. So we've been employed into this business, into the business of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai to do this work, man. All right. And what's that? And what's the payment? The payment is a penny, man. Which that's the most valuable penny out of all, man. All right. That's our treasures being stored in heaven, man. That's why we've been hired. And when we finish the work, we're going to be rewarded in that day. All right. I got to put the phone down again. Slocky, I can bear me for one second. Slocky.
The rest of them ready to go back to work? Do what? You know who our GF is, don't you? Slim, Jim Atkins.
Oh, yeah.
Todd,
yeah.
He come back as a foreman too.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
He talked to a few more that retired and talking about coming over there and running the crew too.
Really?
I don't know who they're talking about.
I ain't no test. No,
All right. Let's see. It says inactive, unemployed, by implication, lazy, useless, barren, idle, slow. All right. Yeah, that's it on that. So that's what it is, man. Being inactive or unemployed, which once again we've been employed to this business. It says being lazy. All right, that's what it means to be idle. All right. Also, too, it says being barren and slow. All right.
Kenny wants to be done. Yeah. But how you get outside of Kenny's though, I like Kenny. As long as you do Kenny's way, Kenny's fine. But I like Matt, what Hyatt, is that his name? That one took his job? Matt's all right. We don't hear much from Matt. I got that decent deal out there too. Well, he's got his plate full right now. We just lost about 3 crews very quick because that new company come in at Hartsville. They started a new company, and so we lost about 3 crews. He's in the up and over there trying to get people hired and this and that.
I can understand that. I went to work for money. Mine is, well, I say we work, but I ain't getting paid. Just something get paid on the house.
Right.
All I do is sit in his office, listen to him. All them guys bitch and moan.
Do it as would you do it as debit? It's not debit. Don't do it as debit. It's not a debit card.
I understand where he's going.
Right.
I don't know. I missed work. I missed bills. I missed work.
Yeah. That's what Shannon said. He said he likes it. He said there's so many politics. We had a guy just go to them. Who hunts for him? Adrian quit come back. That's what he said. That's the thing about it. We make more money than they do.
Yeah. And work late. Work hard.
All Alright, it's like it. I'm back. Had to handle this for these fucking devils. It says, lazy, shunning the labor which went out to perform, getting back on topic, getting back in the spirit. It says inactive, i.e. unemployed, by implication, lazy, useless, barren, idle, slow. All right. So now let's look up more precepts, which I got laid up here. It says, it's Proverbs, the 19th chapter, in the 15th verse. It says, slothfulness cast into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. And that's right, man, because the harvest is on. The harvest is around the horizon, man. All right, and you got people that are idle, and guess what? When that time comes, they're gonna suffer hunger. That's literal and spiritual, man. All right, which soon is gonna be literal, man. All right, because why is that? Because there's a come a point in time to where their works are gonna be tried. And their works are going to be found out to be, stone and stubble, wood, and it's going to be burnt up. All right. And it also says slothfulness too cast into a deep sleep. All right. So being slothful, you get rocked back to sleep as you're being idle. All right. Being slothful, you get put back to sleep. All right. Because the world starts, you start getting thoughts in your head. The world starts looking, more better towards you, for lack of a better term. You start to fall back asleep. Okay. Now, this also at Ecclesiastes, Ecclesiastes, the 10th chapter and 18th verse, said, by much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. All right, and that's right, man. By slothfulness the building decayeth, man. And that's the thing, man. When you I have to go back to construction, because when you building a building, right, and you're doing a framework, because when you do framework, that's pretty much lumber, right? So when you build up your framework by lumber, right, if you leave it there for so long, for such amount of time, then it's gonna decay, man. All right. Yeah. Oh, it's like y'all can. Yeah, again, man, it says, going back to what I was talking about that building, right? If you leave it there, it's going to be raining, storming, it's going to impact that framework that you did, and that wood is going to decay, right away, man. All right, so that's what it means by being slothful. The building decayeth and idleness, the building dropped through. Because if you're doing a shoddy work, that's what's going to happen. All right. That's why scripture speak about also sharpening the sword, man. All right, and studying to studying to show thyself approved. Okay. Now continuing on, I already read Matthew's. That's book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, the 33rd chapter, the 25th verse. It says, if thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty. And that's right, man. When you go idle, you're not doing anything. More than likely you're gonna seek liberty, man. In other words, when someone seeks liberty, they want to be free from, their service. It's like when you at a job, you're trying to find ways to take a day off, basically make excuses. Okay, and that's what it comes down to, man. You got guys that make excuses, but the thing is that some guys got to they got certain business they got to handle, which that's nothing to that's something that they can't avoid. But sometimes you got guys that just make up excuses just to make excuses. All right. And that's the book of Sirach, the 33rd chapter, again, down to the 27th verse. It says, "Send him to labor that he be not idle, for idleness teaches much evil." And that's also true, man. Idleness teaches much evil, because being idle, that's time away from the Lord when you're idle. All right, and that's the worst position to be in when you have time away from the Lord, because you're subject to all types of elements out in the world, being away from the Lord, man. That's why, once again, constantly pray. That's why the scriptures say pray without ceasing. All right. Like I just read earlier in the book of Luke, it says that men ought always to pray and not faint. Okay. So you have to constantly pray, fast, study, read, do all these things to be in the gracious and in the sight, in the presence of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and not be taken by the elements of this world, man. Okay. Now I got another definition of the word. Let's see. I had it. Gotta go to Safari. Now, got the word idle in the etymology, right? It says idle. The etymology of that word is empty, void, vain, worthless, useless. All right. Now that sheds more light on that word idle, man. All right. It says empty. All right. Void, vain. All right. Which that word vain means worthless, man. Useless. All right. It says empty, worthless. Okay. Vain, useless, mere. Okay. It says not employed, not doing work. All right. So when you're idle, you're not doing any work. All right. So it's like, what you're doing, man. Get to work. Okay. Now going down, it says from 1805 of machinery, right? Just like how you have an engine, right, in your car. You start your car up. What's that engine is idle, man. It's not. It's just running. All right. That's why when you're in your vehicle and you're in your vehicle, you have to, in order for it to move, you have to put your foot on the pedal. All right. You got to apply pressure to the gas pedal so it can move, man. All right.
Where's the other people at?
The other person?
Yeah.
Oh, he's not in right now.
Huh?
He's not in right now.
Okay. Usually I see the guy and his wife.
All right. Continue on. It says meaning lazy, slothful. It's from 13th century. From the Elizabethan English, it also could mean foolish, delirious, wandering in the mind. All right. Foolish. All right. Delirious, wandering in the mind. That's true, man. Wandering in the mind, man, because like we just read earlier in Sirach, right? It says idleness teaches much evil. Because when you wander in the mind, because the mind muses about many things, man. You can find that in the book of Sirach too, about how the mind works. Mind muses on many things. You start thinking, you're getting thoughts in your head. So that's why I said, man, wandering in the mind, which also, that goes into the word idle. All right, now that's the adjective, right? Now this is the verb for idle. It says the late 15th century, right? It says make vain or worthless. From the adjective form, meaning spend or waste time. All right. Meaning cause to be idle, and transitive sense of run slowly and steadily without transmitting power, which I just spoke about earlier. Considering that motor. All right, you got to put you got to apply pressure to the gas pedal for it, order for that vehicle to move. All right. But that's pretty much it on that, man. I just want to shed some more light on the word idle. That's pretty much give you some more clarity on that word idle. This give even more severity to that word, right? So with that, man, Lord willing, y'all get edified with this video, and that's fine, man. Before I leave off, I want to grab another precept before I leave off. That's like you. This is Isaiah the 35th chapter in the This is Isaiah 35 and 3. It says, "Strengthen ye the weak hands, confirm the feeble knees." Oh, it's like y'all can.
It's 513, man, right there. She waited. Oh my God. Appreciate that, bro. 4 on 2. Man, why did mama let them kids come out their house, man, with their pants hanging? That's just downright ridiculous, man. It is.
It's like it. I want to read this precept again. You know, demons walking all up in the store, man. It's crazy. Let me go ahead and end this video. I don't want to take up any more of Joachim's time. This is Isaiah the 35th chapter in the 3rd verse. It says, "Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are of fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your power will come with vengeance. Even the Most High with a recompense. He will come and save you." All right. So right here, man, it says, "Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees," man. In other words, get to work, man. All right, that should be the title of the video, man. Get to work. It said, "Be strong, fear not." All right, your power will come with vengeance, man. All right, so the Lord is coming with vengeance, man. That's more than enough, than a kick in the ass to, you know, to get to work, man. All right, even the Most High with the recompense, He will come and save you. And then once again, another motivator, man, because the Lord is about to return and deliver us, man. So how much more, you know, knowing that